What is the plan at corner? Like, is Cormani ready yet?
No.
What's holding Cormani back at this point?
He is.
I feel like I just don't want to play for the Clips. I actually want to be involved with a great leading program.
That's a first-round pick, ladies and gentlemen.
I think he's a young man that's going to find his way real soon.
Cormani Mcclain, I think, can be a first-round NFL draft pick. There's a reason why Deion Sanders saw him as a good prospect. There's a reason why Deion Sanders brought him into Colorado, and there's a reason, even though Cormani left on not the most positive terms, Deion Sanders continues to speak positively of, and when you take a look at it, a genetic freak, 6'1", range, speed, length, and now he's in that Florida system where he seems to be getting bigger, stronger, and faster every single day. Today, what we're going to do is sort of like a retrospective, right? Slight update, if you haven't been keeping up with Cormani Mcclain, on Cormani Mcclain and his Florida Gator tenure. Now, I don't believe that he's in position to start, like be a starter, but from what I understand, he is in prime position to be a contributor. He did play some last season, got burnt by Arian Smith, got burnt by Matthew Golden, huck 'em horns, but showed some positive flashes and has now shown even more positive flashes. This is as recent as June 12th. Florida quarterback Cormani Mcclain has clearly put on weight this offseason. A recent video uploaded to Florida social media shows the former Colorado cornerback with an increase in size. He was reportedly shown some of the most significant improvements in the weight room as well. Here it is right here. They took the clip. They took the snippet out of it. You know what I'm saying? They was really trying to see the striation. This is June 11th. I don't know if that, if that song's copyrighted, but here is, the full video of them getting after it. And as we're going to watch, I think it's important to point out that, this whole off season has been positive for Cormani, right? It hasn't just been, this one or this, he's fast here. I mean, we've heard that he's getting the playbook better from head coach. We've heard from the weight and conditioning coach that he's one of the fastest guys on the team. Where's that at? Where did I put that at? Right here. From the weight and conditioning coach, him being one of the fastest guys on the team.
If you were building a 4x100 relay team, who are your four guys? I saw this question and I spent a lot of time thinking about it. I'm going to go Aiden Mizell, Tank Hawkins, Cormani Mcclain, I think Devin Moore.
So, this is, and if you've played football or if you've just played sports in general, you know how the strength and conditioning coaches, strength and conditioning coaches are very typically hard to impress gentlemen, right? He's a little bit of a hard ass, you know what I'm saying? That type of dude. So he's not just going to throw around that you're fast just because whatever, just to make you feel good. It seems like Cormani Mcclain is one of the faster dudes on the team at this point, right? People said, this was back in March, this was during the springtime. People said that he had put on as much as 20 pounds. So I want to point this out before we go through the timeline, because we're going to take you back. I want to take you all the way back from Cormani in high school. That's where we're going to start. But just before we go there, and again, head coach Billy Napier says Cormani Mcclain is one of the year 2 players that have taken the biggest leap this spring, April 1st, 2025. So that's what I mean by, like, it's been nothing but positive coming out for him. So, but I say all that to say that I think he's really maximizing what he has, and the fact that these things continue to happen and continue to stack positive things, right? Cormani Mcclain has a chance to be one of the best cornerbacks in the country this season. Mark my words. I think he's figured things out, off the field, and has found his groove within the Gator system. That's super important, right? And we're going to obviously talk about the relationship with Colorado, relationship with coach, but I think that when we speak about these guys, because I've made Cormani Mcclain throughout the video in a certain channel called Matt Be Great. Some call him Matt Be Vandy. I don't know if you've heard of him. Makes decent content, but I did not like the way that he covered Cormani Mcclain. Is the main reason why I make Cormani Mcclain videos. It's the reason why I made my first one, because I felt like he was being too harsh on him. And I say that to say, I think that his tenure at Florida, being closer to where he grew up, right, being in that environment, I think it's paying off in dividends. So some people are trying to make it like, oh my God, Colorado can't do this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think some kids need different things. I think some kids need to be isolated in the mountains of Boulder, Colorado, in this new place that someone growing up in Florida has never experienced, right? But I think some people need to be in that weather. They need to be in that humidity. They need to be surrounded. And I believe that he was committed to Florida at one time. I know he committed to Miami as well, but he was like a Florida commit, a Florida prospect at one point. So it only made sense for him to come not only back to his home state, I believe, unless he was Southern Georgia. I believe he was in Florida. Not only come back to his home state, but come back to a place that he already has some familiarity with, right? And I think what we're seeing is instead of all the negativity that people tried to put on it, and oh my God, he was getting slapped by Shiloh and all that crazy stuff, which we're going to get into. I think what you're really seeing is Colorado is not the circus people tried to paint it as, but Cormani Mcclain isn't the like awful dude that people try to paint him as, right? In the same way that I talk about Shador a lot on this channel, it's the same reason why I talk about Cormani, because people were trying to act like this kid didn't have a chance and he was done and it was over with. Now, you did get burnt in the season. That did happen, but the kid has the tools. He's got the talent. From what I understand, he's done nothing off the field besides miss some workouts and show up late to some meetings. Now, that's not great. That's dumb. That's dumb stuff that young kids do, and he should be held accountable for. But now as he matures into an adult, he's clearly finding his groove and clearly impressing the people that he's a part of. So we have to commend Cormani. And at this point, 6'1.5", elite speed, he's one of the fastest players on an SEC Florida team that is an improved Florida team. That's a first round pick, ladies and gentlemen. He is the prototypical new style of corner. I'm rangy. I can play in other places. I can be physical. So let's walk you through the Lakeland, Florida. So yeah, it was Florida. I forgot if it was Florida, if it was Southern Georgia. The Lakeland, Florida player, and kind of walk through a little timeline of him getting to Colorado and then eventually winding up in, I think, a really good situation for him in Florida. So Cormani Mcclain. You know what I'm saying? I know it's interesting. See, Travis Hunter, because he was out of Georgia and, I live in Georgia. So he was talked about out of Collins Hill. So there's not a lot of high school players besides like Najee Harris that, I really, and not Mac Brown, but not Austin Brown. What's his name? Derek Brown, because we played against him. That dude. Jesus Christ. So I didn't know much about Cormani McClain. There's not a lot of high school players that I follow, so I didn't know the type of guy he was or anything like that. So I kind of found out about his story, right? And almost Jaden Rashada, right? If you know about him, where he had a lot of commits here and commits there. He was supposed to be committed to Miami, didn't sign his NLI, and that became a whole sweepstakes thing. And he was, from what I understand, he was the number 1 quarterback in the class. Regardless, a 5-star with a lot of athleticism, a lot of range, and you can see a lot of confidence in the way that he operated just at the high school level. So from a prospect, you can just see that it's just too easy for him, right? He's just the guy that goes up there. I don't know what they was doing in 2022, dog. They was doing something back there. But, it's just too easy for him. He's taller, he's faster, he's more athletic, and that's kind of how he got his game off, right? Now, fast forward from not signing his NLI with Miami to, of course, signing officially with the Colorado Buffaloes. A big moment for Deion Sanders. You're lucky I didn't put that video of him dancing in the hotel window, but we've watched it enough, so I ain't going to put it there. So you go from there, and then Cormani has to make the transition to Colorado, and this is what his first thoughts were as he did that.
I forgot to get a view for y'all outside, bro. It looks so nice outside, bro. Way different from Florida. But, yeah, I'm finna head in the gym.
And then this is what some of them workouts was doing to him. You know what I'm saying?
Like, hey, how you feeling?
I threw it 7 times.
Huh?
I threw it 7 times.
Wait, you said you threw up 7 times?
7 times.
That's okay. You got smoother than this shit. That's normal though. Like I said, if I was up here, I'd be throwing them too. Bro, he threw up 7 times today, bro.
At least one time when they came up
He
here.
threw up, he said, what number am I looking at? I'm going to throw up that many times. But how you throw up 7 times though, bro? But you was working out when you was home.
I was.
It just hit you different. You couldn't breathe.
It's just different,
It felt like you breathed through a straw.
He was throwing up. Wait, hold
Hey,
on.
how you feeling?
Wait. I'm trying to see something. I'm being nosy, but you can see Maybe that's not what I think it is. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? But so, he's throwing up, experiencing the mountains of Boulder. He's going through. Is he got the Benjamin on him? Is this what he was doing? Is this why he couldn't show up to meetings? Wait. Let me find out the reason why Cormani Mcclain never worked out in Colorado is because they had that green for him. They had that czar just coming out everywhere. He was throwing up 7 times. He was high on the field, trying to be Josh Gordon. What's up with you, dog? What is this? And I look, I don't mean to slow this down, but listen to Shador. Y'all see that?
Wait, you said you threw up 7 times? That's okay. Yeah.
Wait. You see that? Wait.
That's okay. Yeah, you got smoother than this shit. That's normal though. Like I said, if I was up here, I'd be throwing up too. Bro, he threw up 7 times today, bro. At least one time when they.
I don't know. It seemed like he was like, "Hey, you can't do that." You know what I'm saying? So, W Shador, because I cannot confirm nor deny what he put in his mouth. Hey, I don't know what Cormani Mcclain was doing. Live chat says he definitely was. I don't know if y'all can see. I'm gonna put y'all over here. Read y'all real quick. He says first round bust. Sometimes you gotta slap Cormani. Oh, Ian Coleman, calm down, man. People weren't mad Cormani left. They were mad that they threw shade at Coach Prime and CU after this squandered his opportunity. Now that's true. Shout out Jared Jackson. Silverback Racing says all the practice film is read now. We need to see it in game. That's important. Ian Coleman says Cormani was mad they kept asking him to read. And Tech Coco says he was. Ian Coleman says he definitely had that shtick on him. Hey man, it looked a certain way. It definitely looked a certain way. W teammate for Shador, making sure that I can't confirm nor can I deny that. But we don't want to stay too long on the Benjamin. But so moving forward, someone said something about practice film. So what does Cormani Mcclain look like when he got on the practice film? Now, some of this is going to be some stuff from fall, and some of this is going to be from spring, right? And, I think he's really you can see that he plays with a certain level of confidence, right? And I think that confidence was held within his physical attributes, right? Now, he was a little Bambi-legged, but he tended to make some plays. He tended to get physical with people, right? So when it comes with the pure tendencies, it really felt like there was enough there to be turned into an elite corner. When you talk about the length, the strength, the speed, everything else that kind of combined to make it is what it is. Now, this is August, so this is still fall camp. Working against future NFL wide receiver Xavier Weaver, 5-star. Working in phase. Good work there. I don't know why it chopped up like that. But, doing his thing, doing his thug dizzle, right? Really, really showing out. And I think it's important to show that, they go J5. I think it's important to show this, to show that, like, the natural progression was that Cormani Mcclain was going to be the guy, right? You're a 5-star athlete. Like, we're positioning you to be, I mean, you feel me? We position you to be the one. You know what I'm saying? Snagging picks across the level. Like, it was clear. It was a clear thing that was looked at as, hey, he was going to be this guy. Now, as we move forward, things get a little bit more tumultuous, right? Now, this is September 5th. I believe this is actually just an injury update, but this is just kind of like the first, I think, setback that kind of started adding to the issue. So this is September 5th, 2023. This is Deion Sanders.
Wire. On Saturday, I don't think we saw Alton McCaskill or Cormani Mcclain. Just wondering if you can give us an update on those two.
Well, Cormani has to be ready. He has to get ready. He has to get ready to play. McCaskill, he's close. He was mad today because he took it upon himself to take his gold jersey off on himself and not, we didn't tell him to. I'm like, I don't want you hit in practice. I want you to make it to the game. But he wants it so bad. He wants it right now. And we're going to monitor him and see. He shouldn't have dressed. I wanted to take it, but he shouldn't have dressed out. Because I wasn't going to play him. That wasn't going to happen. But the kid wants to play right now. Now we got to make sure he's ready. He's prepared.
So, again, I think Alton McCaskill, my fault was the injury, but obviously with Cormani Mcclain was not an injury, it was him being ready. So it started off as, hey, he's not ready. So that's September 5th. Well, that's early on in the season, boy. That's quite early on in the season having these problems. And then we get to September 19th. And Deion is asked again, why is Cormani Mcclain not playing?
What is the plan at corner? Like, is Cormani ready yet?
No. The plan at corner is cornerback committee. That's why we practice. We're going to see who steps up and takes over that role.
What's holding Cormani back at this point?
He is. He is.
Cormani Mcclain is what's holding Cormani Mcclain back. Hey, I don't think that's a false assessment by Deion Sanders at the time from what it looked like. Now, I will say we move on, and somebody talked about wanting to see some game film. Well, let's talk about some game film. So this is December 22nd, right? But before that, November 9th, right? And I think this is important. Again, I'm not someone who just wants to point negatives and XYZ. This is clearly a turning point, at least what it seemed like for Cormani Mcclain at November 9th going towards the end of the season.
If you tell me you don't want this, I won't hold you accountable to this. Coach Mathis just told me a great story. Coach Mathis, tell the story you just told me in the cafeteria about one of our players.
Mine. Yesterday, they had the race, right? So Cormani was on Bidget's side. So when Bidget lost, everybody had to run. And some folks that was on that side that didn't run. And he got up there and ran that gas. He didn't get off to the sides, none of that stuff. Like early in the year, he would have went off to the other side and just not ran his gas. But he got over there and ran that gas and ran it all. He's grown so much, man, and I'm proud of you, bro. Because I was on your ass every day. I'm proud of what you're doing about it. You know what I'm saying? That right there shows growth in you by doing that. Because earlier in the season, you wouldn't have done it. You just slid off to the side and wouldn't have worried about it, right? But I'm proud of you, boy, and you will have a good game this weekend because you're growing.
He's going to have a great game. He's going to have a great game.
Hey, so again, and again, later in the season, he started to get some reps there. And more specifically, we're going to watch some work against Brendan Rice, but you saw that there's a natural progression there, right? And more importantly, this is why I didn't, because I watched football. So I watched football, I watched real life media, I saw what was happening, and I've played football, and I know that from being friends with, I was just a cool dude. I wasn't, I wasn't the super popular, but I was cool with dudes who were like the troublemakers. I was cool with dudes who were the goody two shoes on the team, right? And what you see oftentimes in these bad players is bad situations and weird circumstances that, makes them be late, especially when you talk about high school. Because, I'm not sure if you can tell, not an NFL player. So, especially at high school, it's like there's only so much that a 16-year-old can do to show up every day at 7 a.m., right? So they might be labeled as a certain way just because they mom can't get up and do all these things or whatever, different things. So I think it's great to see that there was a growth shown at least. And obviously it didn't end up working at Colorado, but that growth continued when he got to Florida, clearly, because that's why we're hearing more positive things about him. So here is a play really quick because, we can't do too much, just about Cormani Mcclain working against is Brendan Rice still in the NFL? At one point, an NFL receiver, Mr. Brendan Rice. It wasn't Brendan Rice also an ex-Colorado receiver? That's crazy. Okay, so we're going to watch him here. Now, let's see. It seems that, okay, so Brendan Rice is going to get high on his toes, try to freeze him up. It seems like Cormani is starting to open his hips up a little bit. He feels some movement to the outside. With that feel, though, I don't like that he opened his hips up that quick. I would like to see him to keep his hips a little square still. But this is why he's a freak athlete, because what does he do? Actually, we can do this. Wait, why is it it's not letting me do it? Oh, sorry. Dang it, I was gonna show you. But anyway, this is why he's a freak athlete, because the recovery, right? He flips. Brendan he creates space. I mean, this is a great window to put this ball in, but Cormani has a lot of speed and a lot of physicality. So he finishes through, and that's an incompletion against an NFL quarterback and an NFL wide receiver. And speaking again about the growth, right? This is Colorado football's leading tackler at the time, Jawan Mitchell, on Cormani Mcclain, September 26, 2023.
What's impressed you about Cormani Mcclain as a true freshman coming in here, and where does he have to also improve and get better? Where are things you like and where are some things he can improve?
That's funny. That was my roommate TCU game. I'm like, dang, they roommate with a freshman. But, like, nah, he matured. Cormani matured. He know what he want in life. He gonna go get it. Yeah, he got things, he got to work on. We all do. But he real hungry. He come in every day ready to work. He long, real long. He could go play the ball, things of that. Like, so he's special. I expect coming back in a year or two, like, him being one of those guys.
And hey, Jawan Mitchell, I think you're right, because people are projecting Cormani Mcclain to be one of those guys, but just in the SEC, not in the Pac or Big 12. And, it's interesting to see, because now we're going to kind of fast forward to the offseason, and this last offseason of 2024, where there were some speculations about Cormani Mcclain, so much, in fact, that one of the Deion Sanders fan pages kind of tweeted out, hey, look, Cormani Mcclain is just putting in work. There's nothing crazy going on with Cormani Mcclain. Well, that did not last long, because Cormani Mcclain went ahead and entered the transfer portal. And this right here started a crazy little era of the college football world, and specifically when it comes to Coach Prime. And, we kind of know the end, right? You get there, he commits to Colorado. I don't want to make this video too much longer, but, finally commit to Florida. But I think there's going to be a separate video about this whole scenario, right? Hey, I don't want to play for
Change
clicks.
the narrative of everyone's thinking on my name. Be a part of a real and a great program that's going to impact me at my best ability. And yeah, ready to get to a new place and get to work. Yeah, I feel like I just don't want to play for clicks. I actually want to be involved with a great leading program that's going to develop players. With that being said, that'll wrap up all the questions asked from you guys.
Now he talked all that and got burnt, didn't you? Yeah, the only time you got played, you got burnt. Now you did get your pick six. We ain't gonna take that away from you, Cormani. She was talking that hot and Matthew Golden put you in that blender, dog. I'm just saying. But hey, that's why the improvement's important. Clearly, he had to do more maturing. Deion Sanders had to say this.
I think he's a young man that's going to find his way real soon.
Gonna find his way, man.
Sometimes you need to disconnect from something to reconnect to something else, to restart you and re-energize you and stabilize you. But I don't dislike any of the kids that may leave, man, because I just want the best of them. I really do. I'm just crazy like that. I really want the best for all these kids, no matter what transpires in their life.
Love to hear that. Deion Sanders is going to continue to say that all the time. Again, commits to Florida, doesn't play much in the games that he plays. A few good moments, pick six here and there, gets burnt. But now coming into this season, he's poised to be a major contributor. And, if he plays his cards right with the physical abilities he has, can become a top tier first-round pick in the NFL. So y'all let me know how you feel about Cormani Mcclain, his growth, what you think he's going to do this season, how you feel about the Florida Gators. Now, as great as that all sounds, the Florida Gators know how to just mess things up. So we'll see if they do anything with it. I would love to see that. Hey, Cormani, I don't know why you went the Gators of all places, but they just know how to mess things up. But comment down below if you have any opinions. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it, subscribe if you enjoy anything else. Or any other football content. Continue to be amazing, be great. Appreciate the support. We'll see you next time. Peace.